What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Nikki Blends coming for yet another video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and follow my journey. All right, let's get right into it. So right now I'm taking a 3 guard going with the grain against my client's hair. Remember that it's important that you start off with a bigger guard because you can't go wrong from there, because it's easy to debulk, but you can't go back once you've cut down too much. And now me taking this 3 guard, it helps me see what I'm working with so that I don't create any potential baldness or patching, or that I don't create any length going down that's too low. And this is my client that's been rocking with me for the whole 3 months of the quarantine. Appreciate you, and everyone else that has stuck it out to ensure our safety. Now I've gone with the 2 to go ahead and work my way down. As you know, you never want to skip a step when cutting hair, because that can create that bulk line, that can create the patchy fades. And so you just want to make sure that if you take and start with the 3, you work your way down, so that it can achieve the look in which you're hoping to achieve. Once again, going with the 2 with my fast speeds and cutting that hair down until I achieve that desired length. Knowing your client's hair too, you're aware of the areas where you want to make sure that you have a certain guard on to ensure that you achieve that look as well. When you're on the crown, you want to make sure that you're not digging into it, especially for the wavers out there. A beautiful, flawless, full crown is what every waver should achieve to have. Now, as you can see with the hairline, I'm not taking and digging into it because I don't want to create patching or any baldness along the hairline, so that when it goes to the shape up, I can ensure that she's able to have that full hairline. Now I have my 2 guard going against the grain to go along the nape. Then I switched it to go with the grain, and this is once again debulking some of that hair to create that flawless blend for the taper. Now for my line, I'm going to go ahead and use my Gamma hitters. These are pretty dope. They are easy to set to make sure that there's 0 gap. As you can see, I'm taking my time to make sure that when I do the edge up, I'm not pushing into the hair too much, but you want to make sure that you create that definition above the ear so that you can actually see the shape up along the hairline. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my guideline, my first set guideline, using that to bald out the bottom so that I can know approximately where I would like for my taper to go. Doing the same thing along the nape. I'm the type of barber that if I do one step on one side, I'm going to do it all the way around, so I don't have to do 3 separate sets, and I'm able to, what I feel as though, get the haircut done in a timely manner, kind of like that work smarter and not harder technique. Now I have my Andis detachable blades, and you want to make sure with these they're kind of stiff. I like them just for the step purposes. As I previously stated, when cutting hair you want to make sure you follow those steps. And so with my Gammas, I did the 0, then I go in with the 1, and that OA goes in between. Then after that I do the 1A to follow up with that 1. And now I have my Walls clippers, the magic clips, where I'm going in with the 1, opening and closing my blade. As you know, when the blade is closed, you're going to get a tighter, closer cut. When it's open, it's going to be a longer length on that cut. So you want to make sure that you know your tools and what you're working with to ensure that you are providing the proper cutting. Taking this 1, going right on the base of the hairline so that you're able to get away that bulking. And now after I did that 0 with the Gammas, I'm going in with the magic clips with the 1 guard to create my next guideline. Whether you have to go with the grain or against the grain, don't forget to follow those steps. So once again, taking that 1 guard, and I made sure that it was open first to go ahead and debulk, and then I stepped backwards with closing it with that 1 guard on. Now with the detachable blades, remember, not skipping steps. You can do the gap so you can see your guidelines. You have to make sure that you go back to get that step. Now, to lay the hair down after a good wash, I'll use a mousse to any of your liking. You want to make sure that it's not one that's oily or one that's going to create any additional residue. And now after combing it, I'm laying down the do-rag. As you know, there are two ways that you can tie your do-rag. One being is that you can wrap it around, and make sure that your bands are flat and wide, because if they are bundled up, it could create potential thinness around the nape. And so you want to make sure that you don't have any of those issues. So make sure you open it as wide as possible and keep it wide. So you can just do the traditional tie on the back, but if you already know that you're experiencing issues with thinning, you can just take and hold one of the bands as you wrap it around, and then you'll do the tuck method. And this will ensure that you don't have any bulky or any thickness along the nape of the neck. Some people have headaches from that, and so this will alleviate some of that tension right on your hairline. So now you want to make sure that it's pulled tight as possible, going in the direction of the waves to help them to lay down. And once again, making sure that that band is flat across the hairline as well. And that'll help lay down that hairline so that you don't have to worry about any of the hair being misplaced. And now you can see that the waves are beginning to set. This is not the end of the process, but this is just another step of getting it to where you want. Now you go along the hairline, combing out anything, making sure that the do-rag didn't cause any of the hair to become packed. Now I'm taking that one guard, just gently running it across the hair. You don't want to dip into or dig into the hair, because that can make it lower than what it needs to be. Now I have the two guard going across the crown. Everybody loves a solid crown, no holes, no patching, and so it's okay to use a bigger guard to go across that. Now I'm going across the hair with the two, just getting rid of any frays that potentially have been created from the mousse or the do-rag. Once again, for another edge up. Keep in mind, every time you go across the skin of your client, those are blades, so you want to make sure that you're not applying too much pressure or doing it too many times, as it could cause irritation. Going ahead and doing the C-cup, be sure to follow the client's head structure, as well as ensuring that you're not digging too deep into the corners or the sides. It's a good guideline that if you take and go at the end of the eyebrow, that's usually where that side line should be lined up with. Be sure to pull the ear down so you have full visibility of what you're doing as you create that arch around the ear. And a little bit of definition helps with the ear by just tapping just a little bit higher so that you're able to see that detail around the ear. And this comb right here, you can find this at your local beauty store. It has the razor blade in it. It's equivalent to about a 1 guard. And so you can go along the hairlines just to lay down that extra hair. Detailed is vitally important when it comes down to a clean, crisp haircut. And so taking those extra steps, such as this comb, to make sure that there is no unwanted hairs and to make sure that it's laying down, never hurt anybody. So now I'm going to use the Gamma Hitters to go ahead and do my shape up. I like to start from the middle to make sure that the height that I'm having is not based on any corners or based on any misjudgment, but it's straight on so you can see exactly where you need to cut to make sure that that line stays straight. One of the reasons why I decided to take and do videos with my haircuts is because we have got to get to a place of looking at the hair from all perspectives. Keep in mind, this client is going to have individuals walking behind them, beside them, in front of them. And so you want to make sure that when they are rocking your work, that it's to the best of its ability. So you want to make sure that you're seeing it from every perspective that everybody else potentially will. And so in this process, I'm just going and doing those final touch-ups. Now, before you knock or cut off this video because I'm using enhancement, you cannot be a barber without knowing dye is a part of barbering. Hair fibers, once again, enhancements. For those of you that have gone to barber school, it's chapters about this stuff. So bypass me in 2020 with the people that want to knock those that use enhancements. You saw me do the cut, so you know I'm enhancing the natural line. I am not creating a line. As you can see, I have my enhancer shield. I'll be sure to drop that link in the description box, and this helps me stay on the line that I have created, opposed to me creating a new line. Now, with the dye that I used before, alcohol in it, so that helps with making sure that the hairline is dried out more so than the color. And then I followed up with the fibers on top of that. Putting your client underneath the dryer to make sure that it has the crisp hairline after you add that hold-in spray. And in that time of the dryer, I just went ahead and straightened up my station, making sure that the floor was clean, making sure that I'm operating in the spirit of cleanliness. Then after that, hitting it with the straight razor. Don't try it at home without a holder if you've never done it before. But on my arches, I find that to be my comfort, where I'm able to create that curve. And then once again, just tapping that line just to get rid of any extra hairs, and looking at it from different perspectives to make sure that it's a straight line, hitting the corners where it's necessary. And like I said, just going through cleaning it up. And the pick method, that's where you take the corner of your clippers and you go ahead and pick out any bulking or anything that's necessary. So this is just like that full cleanup session. So this is the little method I like to use, is using my box shaver just to get rid of any stand-up hairs, the frayaways, making sure that all of those are gone away. No, it will not create any patching in the hair. And as you can see, the final result, Nikki Blends. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow